Hello everyone, Druid Peter here. It's been a while, hasn't it? Welcome to Duinvoorde video game devlog number 2. Right, so there's going to be some changes moving forward with this game devlog videos. First, I'm no longer going to be doing in-depth flowchart based analysis of the video game, like I did in my first video. After collecting some feedback from a few friends, I think we can conclude that doing the really advanced flowchart analysis was a bit overkill, at least for these early videos. I think that I would still like to give more in-depth analysis regarding the game's systems and mechanics, but those will be in separate videos and will likely come out much closer to launch. Speaking of separate videos, I'll also be splitting up these devlog videos into two types. The first will be primarily quick showcases of the working demo at the time of recording. That's what this video is going to be about. The second type of video, will be primarily to showcase assets that are currently in the production pipeline via Blender and whatnot, but which have not yet been integrated into the working development build on my end yet. Those will also be their own separate videos. Okay, so hopefully doing things this way, I'll be able to produce better quality videos and more frequently up till launch, thankfully. Whew! Okay, well now that that's done, now that we've got the boilerplate out of the way, let's walk through what we've got in the game demo so far. And as you can see, well, there's a bit more stuff here. First, let's do a quick recap of the animations and actions that Sarah can do. So this is Sarah Vilatskova. Say hello. She can't wave. She can squat, though. She can move while squatting. Very nice. I think I'll take a nice walk around the cabin. As you can see, not everything is fully meshed with collision meshes, and the cabin is still woefully underpainted, but we'll deal with that. So she can walk, she can squat, she can also jump. I actually really like how cute she jumps. That's adorable. There's going to be lots of jumping and acrobatics in this game. I am working on giving her even more advanced jumping capabilities, though I don't want to say too much. You can also jump from squat, which is a little bit different. Now there is a bit of a glitch in that when you jump twice from squat, she won't go back into squat mode. She will suddenly go back into standing mode. I will have to figure that out. She can also run. Look at that. Let's run all the way over to the ocean. Look at this. Is this not beautiful ocean? Nice and... oh, wait. Purple! Oh, hold on. Crap. Let me try and... there we go. So, this is the road right here. This road basically takes us all the way throughout the overworld, which it's looking pretty big. And as you can see, I've got most of the meshes of the castle imported into Godot engine, the demo at least, though you'll notice that parts of the castle are hovering over the ground. Reason for that is because, due to considerations, I decided it would be a good idea. Actually, you know what? Well, let's go look at the ocean first, because I think it's really quite beautiful. I can't wait to put some oceany sounds in there. I'm not going to jump in because there's no swimming physics yet, and if I jump in, I'll just fall off the edge of the map, so we're not going to do that right now. Also, you may notice that, oh crap, the world is now textured, or at least parts of the world are now textured, with this really neat ground texture. I am working on... one of the things I wanted to get done before I made the current demo video was I wanted to properly texture the entire world space. That did not work because I ran into some roadblocks, I made some unfortunate discoveries about the texture in process that I didn't realize before, and that really slowed me down for about a week. As a result, the world is only partially textured. the big issue is that I'm gonna have to work with implementing the dynamic texturing system before I can get the whole world textured, because it's a big world, and having all the textures loaded in at once at 4K resolution is simply not going to happen, unfortunately. So only one landscape texture at 4K resolution, and the rest are going to have to be textured in a little bit later. Now then, let's continue this tour of the overworld. So, it's a big world. Oh, right, about the overworld. So even though it's still pretty big, and make no mistake, it is pretty big, I actually ended up shrinking the overworld. We're getting into this area where it's not textured. As a result, it's a little bit more difficult to see what's going on, but I ended up shrinking the overworld by about a quarter. So that means that originally the entire game map was 4 times as large as it currently is. And that's going to save a lot of time, because that's a lot of content that I will no longer have to worry about filling in with the game world. And to be honest, I don't think it's going to matter all that much, because it's still a really large world. Plenty of room for game content. Now, you may be wondering why I'm going back to the cabin. It's mostly because a lot of the menu integration systems have been set up. So you can open doors. That's nice. If I press B, that'll open up the game menu. Oh dear. I cannot see that. You can see that a lot better. Let me rescale my game window so that I can see the game menu a little bit better. There are still issues with scaling, but it should be fine. Having to rescale the game window. So we have our inventory, and right now I don't have much. I have some food, which is nice. Potato and a tomato. And if I close the window and I head up over here, so you can't see any tiny apples, but there's actually an apple on this shelf. And if I go in here, please work, please do not crash the game, and I press X, fuck, it crashed the game. Okay. I know why it crashed. Okay, we will pick up the apple later. Let me just restart. Restart the game. That was not supposed to happen. There are still glitches to work out. Ah, here we are. We're back, but one moment, folks. Let me stop recording so that I can get the Dante's cabin back. Okay, and we're back. So I'm not entirely sure why that did not work. But debugging in real time is almost impossible, so we're not going to worry about it. I can show you the working closet. And I have a potato and a tomato, and if I go here, there's a Krig 7. A lovely weapon, which I can get. What happened to the potato? Oh dear, I am worried. Okay, so if I open up, I now have a Krig 7, and I can equip the Krig 7, and now I have a gun. Nice. Not only do I have a gun, I can enter combat mode and aim the gun. Oh yeah, look at that. Perfect. Absolutely beautiful. Ignore the somewhat shitty animation. Oh, interesting. So that's that. Let me just unequip the gun for now. And then another cool thing is I can now go up ladders, although due to a glitch, she rotates 90 degrees while climbing. I need to fix that. But also due to the way the ladder system is set up, some fine-tuning adjustments need to be made in order to, there we go, to climb on top of things. But it should be fine. Now, some of the texture work I've really been working on over here. Actually, you know what? I just realized I forgot to implement backflips, didn't I? Let me see. Can I? Oops. Ah, crap. She clipped to the ground. That happens sometimes. I don't know why. So let me restart the game again. Oh, there we go. We're back. Home sweet home. Let me open the door. And let's see here. Oh, there we go. Wait, what? Oh, I see. So some things you can do that should work. You can rest. How long do you wish to rest? I'm going to 3 hours. And as you can see, the lighting changed slightly because the sun is now in a different position. I don't yet have a lot of atmospheric changes though. So the change in lighting between morning and night and day is actually not really all that dramatic. I will eventually set up more integrated lighting setup and systems so that the world's going to look a lot prettier and you'll see much more dramatic and visible changes as the sun travels throughout the sky. Let's see, there's other cool things you can do. So this room is going to be your room, Sarah's room, and as you can see, you can open and close it with ease. But Dompe's room, if I try to open it, it's locked. And there is going to be a lockpick minigame. And if you look at the little lock, the little 3D lock in the right side of the screen, that is an actual 3D lock which will move and jiggle about as you try to pick the lock. Neat, huh? Let's see, what other... I also have... One of the cool things about the way I've set things up system-wise is if I stand in front of the fridge and I press X, it's a container, see? And the container logic is really, really nice. I don't have to redo a lot of it. Everything that I wrote for the closet is easily transferred over to other objects in the game world, like refrigerators. So that's going to speed things up. The Godot game engine is really helpful in that regard. But if I go over here to the stove and I press X, the culinary menu. So on the left, which has just become slightly transparent due to being highlighted, that's where ingredients will be. You'll be able to find various ingredients throughout the game world. And then on the right, that is where the various dishes you will be able to make from the ingredients you currently have. And one of the neat things about the culinary menu is that a lot of the ingredients that will show up on the left will be both on your person, in your inventory, automatically, as well as ingredients that are in the fridge next to the stove. You'll be able to access both of them at the same time, which I think is really neat. And then if we go down here to the dish name, I don't think I can scroll because I have not encoded the behavior for scrolling yet. I just took a random picture from Genshin Impact, Fisherman's Toast, and that is some lorem ipsum. But basically it'll show the description of the dishes that you're cooking. There will actually be a cooking minigame, but once you complete the minigame, you can then cook as many of those dishes as you want fairly automatically. So, what else? Let's see. Oh, right, the boudoir menu. So, a girl's got to change her clothes, and you will be able to change change your outfit in various places throughout the game world through this, the boudoir menu. And I am very curious as to why there is something in the background with Sarah there. So, fairly simple. There will be outfits that you'll be able to change into and out of at boudoir menu points in the game world. The combine tab, which I don't think... Oh, well, I can switch tabs, but there's not really much there yet. So the outfits tab is going to have outfits that you've created. Combine is where you will actually combine pieces of outfits. See, throughout the game world, you'll be able to find or collect various articles of clothing that belong to specific types of outfits. You can only wear the outfit, however, once you have collected all the necessary articles of clothing for that outfit and have combined them within a particular boudoir location of the world. And then the tailoring tab, well, that's not. It is what you think, but not quite in the way that you may be thinking. This game isn't quite that realistic, and you're not going to be sitting at a sewing machine and um, you know, we're not going that deep in the immersion, but you will be able to modify and get different versions of different outfits. Um, I do want to try and take a kind of hybrid approach to outfits that are found in world, as well as alternative versions of those outfits that can be unlocked in various ways. But I don't want to say too much about that right now. So let's see. What else? So I already did the squatting. I did the jumping. Did the squat jump. I did the combat stance, which, yeah, she can do that even if she doesn't have a gun. What happened to my Krig? I think I accidentally dropped it. The logic between the main menu and the game world is not entirely insulated yet, and so it's very likely that at some point I pressed X in the game world, and the game menu accidentally picked that up and caused me to delete my gun. So that's something I'm going to have to work on. And then of course these things. Currently, what I'm doing is I'm working on getting the stats menu up here fleshed out, so that way I'll be able to then eat this food and stuff, which it looks like the potato is gone as well. Yeah, I think there's stuff to do. Let's see. I don't think I ever went to the center of the area of the castle, but this is basically the castle epicenter. There's going to be several gates to go through. Here we go. Wow, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting game. There's a lot more in the assets pipeline that I have not yet shown here, primarily because trying to get the textures to work slowed me down, and it really did. I'm going to have to fix a lot of that. Please ignore the fact that the buildings are floating up in the sky. I've already fixed that in the Blender version. That is a leftover artifact from the fact that the entire terrain of the world has been shrunk by about a quarter, but the castle itself, and as well as Sarah and the various entities in the game world, have not also shrunk for obvious reasons. And as a result, things are going to need to be adjusted. Yes, that's a good term for it. So that should conclude what I've got so far. I will admit, 1 week I did really get slowed down quite a bit. The textures, I ran into problems that were necessary to run into, and I'm glad I did. Far better to run into game world texturing problems now or earlier than later. But I will admit they did slow things down substantially until I figured out how to actually get it to work. So, which is unfortunate. Now then, let's see. Moving forward. So the next video is probably going to come out. Well, the next demo video in any case is probably going to come out sometime in early March. I'm going to spend the rest of February primarily integrating a lot of the systems, game world systems, and getting basic overworld functionality done. So stuff like eating, using items, making sure that there's no weird glitches in the game menus, etc. As well as in general, like making so that you can swim in the ocean, stuff like that. setting up various quality of life improvements. I don't think I showed you guys the sand, but we actually have a beach over here, which is kind of neat. Yeah, it kind of, that ocean really, really looks nice. Let's see. So yeah, so next video you should see the world. We'll still primarily be trying to get the overworld in tip-top shape, but the overworld that you see here should look a lot more fleshed out. Once I get the quality of life improvements and the overworld and all the systems of the overworld primarily set up, only then will I turn to implementing the interior spaces for the castle buildings. So here we have a door. So it's going to be quite a while. Probably I won't get to actually where you can go inside a good chunk of these buildings until March. But I can pretty much guarantee that when that happens, the life sim and on survival elements of the overworld will definitely be 98, 99 to 100% in place, which means the game will be pretty damn close to having an actual early access launchable demo out. I think I can try and get an early access launchable demo out on Steam, like something that you guys can actually play. I'm gonna say mid to late April. It's again it's a tight schedule. I'm really good at developing quickly, but I also have to take into account that a few more snags like I got with the textures, and that could significantly slow me down. So I'm gonna say mid to late April. You guys should be able to play this game. So hope to see you there, and probably next video should come out in 2.5-ish weeks. And oh boy, I'm really, really excited to what I'll be able to show you guys then.